Hello, everyone. Today, we're going to take a break from student battles and look at a slightly longer game. It was a 10-minute game, which a student of mine and I played together during our lesson, actually today, a few hours ago. We played against someone rated a little bit above 1900. Because it's a 10-minute game, there will be, well, a lot fewer mistakes. And in general, this is the rule. If you want to get better at chess, and not just fast chess, but chess, you want to be able to play, you want to play longer games because this will allow you to win because of something good which you did instead of just waiting for your opponent to blunder a piece. Okay, so let's take a look. D4 knight f6, knight f3 e6, bishop f4. So it looks like our opponent is getting ready to play the London. And so we decide to set up the queen's Indian position, where the bishop goes here, and then we see what happens next and adjust accordingly. Okay, our opponent continues with normal development. Bishop b7, 8, knight c2. Continues the London setup, although white still has an option of playing c4. We got ready to castle. Bishop d3. Continue with the London setup. Point c3 will complete it. Essentially, in the London, the knights go here, the bishops go here, and white builds the triangle. Okay, we castle. h3. The point behind h3, this is a pretty good bishop, and occasionally black tries to pick it off by making this move. So the idea behind h3 is now this bishop can hide in here, and this move will just be a waste of time. We play d6, it's a semi-waiting move. Maybe we'll play knight d7 and at some point d5. Maybe we'll play c5. Essentially, we're just waiting to see what our opponent will do. White castled, makes perfect sense. We developed our knight, knight d7. Bishop c4 is not a mistake. I think white wanted to provoke us into setting up the structure of d5, c5, and then it becomes more like the typical London, and makes it easier for him to play against us. Okay, so we played c5. He finished his London setup. We played d5, gain more space. Bishop goes back to d3. And this is one of the ways that black can play, because black has a bishop over here. What white likes doing in the London is to launch some sort of an attack connected to the control of this diagonal. One of the ways for black to deal with this is by blocking that diagonal, by putting something on this square. Which is why we played knight e4. White obviously triple attacks. We triple defended. And white does his usual London idea of putting the knight on e5. We traded and brought the next knight to e4, and the point is now this knight can be kicked on f6. Okay, white trades, which makes sense. It slightly ruins our pawns. Also, this bishop is kind of blocked. White gets the rook to a potential open line. This makes perfect sense. We kick the knight. The knight left to c4. And we played queen here. The idea is we improve our queen with tempo, and we would like to bring one of our rooks on this line. White moves the knight, which is reasonable. We brought the rook to this line. And white switches the queen away from this line, and now there could be potential ideas at some point of doing things over here. We switched also, and there is a point um, at some point we might be able to play here, and maybe something like this. White realizes that his knight is not very good there, although it's not clear if it's much better on this square. I guess the logic is if white takes, if we take with the bishop, the knight gets this square. If we take with the pawn, then we have two isolated pawns. So from that point of view, this move makes sense. Okay, we take the bishop. The bishop moved here, and we switched back with the idea to just push. We want to justify the existence of the bishop over here. Right now, this bishop is not very good. So if we are able to pull something like this off, or even get him to take and open things up, this could be good, because this is a light square bishop, and it doesn't have a counterpart. So if this diagonal opens up, this bishop will become very, very powerful. Queen g4 just helps us. It attacks this, but this is one move chess, because we wanted to play this move anyway, which we did. And now White probably makes a mistake. I think you should drop back here right away, because instead of taking, because by taking, he opens up this line, which gives Black even more options. But instead he takes. We took back. After the bishop moves, I will let you take your time a little bit and find a strong move in this position. And the move, of course, is pawn f3, attacking the queen, taking advantage of the spin. White has one move to stop the checkmate, which is queen f1, and now Black has a nice tactic, which just wins the game. And the tactic, of course, is the beautiful move bishop a6. We attack the queen, and the queen, of course, cannot take because checkmate. That's not how diagonals work. That's how lines work. And the point, of course, is if white plays c4, we can just take. And this queen is attacked, and the queen can no longer be attached here. So, in this position, white resigned. So it was a very nice game. Several things to remember from this game is if you have bishops, you want those bishops to have diagonals, especially if your opponent does not have a bishop of the same color, because then if your bishop becomes open, he will accomplish things. A second thing to remember is when you're playing against the London could be very scary opening, as I can attest because I played as white. When you're playing against it as black, it's a good idea to try to close this diagonal. If you pull this off, a lot of white's play is going to go away, and you will have much more pleasant positions. I hope you enjoyed this game. Was a slightly higher level game than usual. Please like, please subscribe, and I will have more exciting material shortly. Thank you.